Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping right into the global inverter market. Now, you might hear inverter and think, well, what's the big deal?
Right.
But really, it's this crucial bit of kit. It takes DC power, direct current from things like solar panels or maybe a battery,
Mhm.
and it flips it into AC alternating current. That's the stuff that powers, well, pretty much everything in our homes, our businesses.
Absolutely. Think about it, keeping the lights on with a UPS during an outage, charging your EV, running industrial machines, even just household gadgets. Inverters are sort of the unsung heroes there.
They really are.
Yeah.
So our mission today in this deep dive, we're going to boil down all the key intel from a pretty comprehensive new report on this market.
Exactly. Think of this as your shortcut, your express lane, to understanding who the big players are, what's really driving this, well, incredible growth, and the trends shaping the future here.
And incredible growth is not an exaggeration, is it?
Not at all.
The numbers are pretty striking. In 2024, this year, the market's valued at what? USD 17,524.8 million?
That's the figure. Substantial.
But then look ahead to 2032, the projection is it balloons to USD 59,464.9 million.
Massive.
That's a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of 16.50%. That's seriously impressive growth.
It really speaks volumes about the shifts happening in our energy systems, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And what's really interesting is why. It's not just one thing driving this.
Right. What are the key drivers then?
Well, the most obvious one is the huge global push for renewables, solar power especially.
And solar needs inverters, period.
Inherently, yes.
Oh,
Then you've got the boom in energy storage batteries for homes, for the grid itself. Inverters are absolutely vital there for managing energy flow.
okay.
And, don't forget the simple growing need for reliable backup power, whether it's your home office needing to stay online or critical industrial processes that just cannot afford to stop. Efficiency and reliability are key.
Gotcha. So it's this combination of factors, renewables, storage, backup power needs.
Precisely. A perfect storm in a good way for the inverter market.
Okay, so to help you, our listeners, get a handle on all this, what are we actually going to unpack today?
Good question. We'll start by naming names that the top manufacturing companies, the ones really leading the charge.
Right.
Then we'll dig into the criteria. How do you even evaluate these companies? What makes a leader,
What
lead?
sets them apart? Okay.
We'll also look at the flip side, the potential threats. Even the big guys face challenges.
Repetition's always there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And finally, we'll offer some, let's say, guidelines or takeaways for any new companies thinking about jumping into this space. How can they actually make a mark and succeed?
Okay, great. So consider this your essential guide, your cheat sheet to understanding the dynamics of this really fast-moving global inverter market.
Let's dive in then. First up, who are the dominant forces? The report clearly flags the top 10 companies currently operating worldwide. These are the ones really setting the pace.
All right, let's hear the list.
Okay, we've got Huawei Technologies Co.,
Mm-hmm.
LTD,
Mm.
Power Electronics SL, SunGrow, SMA, Solar Technology, Fimer Group,
Right.
Delta Electronics Inc., ABB Ltd., TMEIC, Schneider Electric, and Ginlong Technologies, who you might know as Solus.
Wow, that's a truly global list. Some very big recognizable names in there too.
Indeed. These are the heavy hitters, the major manufacturers shaping the industry right now. They have significant influence, global reach.
Yeah, well, market share gives us a snapshot. I assume there's more to it. The report digs deeper.
Exactly. Market share tells you who's big now, but the report also stresses looking at key performance indicators, KPIs. These give you a much better sense of their underlying strength and their future potential.
Okay, so let's get into those criteria.
Yeah.
If you're comparing these companies, what are the really crucial things to look at?
Well, first off, I'd say product portfolio diversity. It's huge.
Meaning, how many different types of inverters they make.
Precisely. Do they cover the whole spectrum?
Yeah.
You've got string inverters common for homes and smaller businesses. Central inverters, the big workhorses for utility-scale solar farms. Microinverters, which go on individual panels. Hybrid inverters, doing both solar and battery management. Even specialized ones for EVs.
Okay, so breadth matters.
A lot. A wider range means you can serve everyone from a homeowner to a massive utility. It opens up the whole market.
Yeah, I can see how being too specialized might limit you in such a dynamic field. What's next after portfolio?
Innovation capacity. This is absolutely critical, and it's not just small tweaks.
You mean real R&D pushing the boundary.
Exactly. Developing genuinely cutting-edge tech. Think about smart
Do you hear
inverters.
that term a lot? What does smart mean here?
Well, it means things like remote monitoring, sure, but also grid-forming capabilities.
Grid forming. Okay, that sounds interesting. What is that exactly?
Right. So traditionally, grid stability, keeping the frequency and voltage steady, that was the job of big old-school power plants. Grid-forming inverters allow renewables, like solar and wind or battery systems, to actually create their own stable voltage and frequency. They can actively help stabilize the grid, even run independently sometimes, like in a microgrid.
Wow. Okay. So they're not just passively converting power, they're actively participating in managing the grid. That's a big step up.
It's a game changer, especially for integrating more renewables, which can be intermittent.
Makes sense. So innovation includes things like that, AI diagnostics.
Yes, AI for predicting faults, preventing downtime. Also, seamless integration with the Internet of Things, using real-time data analytics, adaptive controls, all aimed at boosting performance and keeping the grid stable as energy sources become more spread out.
So smarts are key. What else?
Just the fundamental performance, really.
Yeah.
Energy efficiency is huge, meeting international standards UL, IEC, BIS. Those certifications matter for global sales.
You need that stamp of approval.
Definitely. And companies need to constantly invest in R&D just to squeeze out more efficiency, reduce energy losses, make the inverters last longer. Reliability is paramount.
And with projects getting bigger and bigger, I guess scalability is important too.
Yeah.
Being able to handle massive solar farms or storage plants.
Oh, absolutely. Offering modular designs, systems that can easily scale up from small to huge installations, that gives companies a big advantage. They can meet needs across the board.
Right.
And one more thing, don't underestimate global presence and after-sales service.
Roots on the ground.
Exactly. Having local manufacturing, service centers, strong partnerships, that builds trust, especially when you're entering new markets or dealing with complex utility-scale projects. Support is crucial.
Okay, so summing up the criteria,
Mm.
you need a diverse portfolio, cutting-edge innovation like those smart grid-forming features, top-notch efficiency and reliability, scalability, and solid global support. That's quite a demanding list.
It is, and it helps explain why certain companies really pull ahead. So should we dive into the top 5 now? Look at them in a bit more detail.
Yeah, let's do that. Who's leading the pack, according to the report?
Okay, number 1 with a significant lead is Huawei Technologies Co., Ltd. They're holding about 21.2% of the global market share.
21%. That's substantial. What's their secret sauce?
A lot of it comes down to their focus on smart solar inverters, as they call them, and really deeply integrating AI and IoT into their products.
We talked about smart features. What makes Huawei stand out specifically?
Well, the report points to their high efficiency and reliability across all scales, residential, commercial, utility, but it's that intelligent layer. Advanced monitoring, yes, but also leveraging AI for grid management, using smart diagnostics to catch problems early, even predictive maintenance to cut downtime. Their digital power division saw huge revenues in 2023.
So they're really leveraging their tech background beyond just the hardware.
Exactly. That AI-driven approach seems to be their core competitive edge.
And where are they strongest geographically?
They've got a really solid presence across Asia-Pacific, Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America. Think major markets like China, India, Brazil. They're big there.
And their focus going forward?
Seems to be continued heavy R&D investment, pushing product innovation further, building out these energy intelligence platforms, really positioning themselves as key players in enabling that smart, sustainable energy future.
Very impressive. Okay, who's number 2?
Number 2 is Sungrow. They've got a strong 17.3% market share. They're another major global force in inverter solutions.
Sungrow. What are their key strengths?
They offer a really broad portfolio string, central hybrid inverters. They're known for robust, reliable designs and particularly strong grid support features.
Grid support, like those grid forming capabilities we mentioned.
Yes, contributing to grid stability. Plus, high efficiency, often over 98%. And they focus on modular designs for scalability and, crucially, strong compatibility with battery storage systems, BES.
The storage angle again. That seems critical.
It really is. And the report noted a big surge in their international installations in 2023, especially in Europe, Southeast Asia, the Americas, that really boosted their revenue.
So they're expanding aggressively.
Seems so. They're also pushing into newer areas like floating solar installations and off-grid solutions, shows adaptability.
And their overall focus.
It really aligns with the market trends. Sustainability, constant product innovation, building out their global service network. They're definitely accelerating solar adoption and helping modernize grids worldwide.
Okay, so Huawei and Sungrow are the clear top two. Quite dominant shares. Who's in third place?
Third is Power Electronics SL, based in Spain. They hold 5.2% of the market. They've really specialized.
Specialized how?
Their main focus is on utility-scale solar projects and energy storage applications. Think large scale.
So the massive solar farms we see, that's their turf.
Primarily, yes. They excel in central inverters designed for these huge power plants and also offer key grid support solutions alongside them. Their systems are known for being tough, reliable, even in harsh environments.
Any recent big moves for them?
Yeah, the report mentioned they secured significant new contracts in 2023, expanding their footprint in places like South America and North Africa.
What gives them the edge in that specific utility scale market? It must be competitive.
It is. Key factors are their ability to offer highly customized solutions for these complex projects. Their focus on advanced thermal management, keeping things cool in hot climates, is crucial for reliability and just very efficient power conversion.
Makes sense for large-scale deployments.
Plus, they emphasize strong customer support, R&D collaborations, and even setting up local manufacturing partnerships. As utility-scale solar keeps booming, especially in sunny regions, they seem really well positioned.
Okay, interesting niche focus there. Who's number 4?
Number 4 is SMA Solar Technology AG, a German company holding 4.6% market share. They're very well known, long history in the industry.
SMA, yes. Synonymous with German engineering and solar for a long time. What are their strengths now?
They offer a really full-range string, hybrid, system-integrated solutions, so they cover residential, commercial, and utility scale. That long experience counts for a lot. Plus, modular designs, sophisticated energy management platforms.
Any particular market movements for them lately?
The report highlighted a resurgence for SMA in Europe in 2023. Places like Germany, Italy, the Netherlands seems driven by favorable policies there pushing renewables and energy independence.
Benefiting from the European energy policy shift.
Looks like it. They're also focusing heavily on integrated energy systems, combining PV, storage, EV charging, smart home tech all together.
All home energy ecosystem.
Exactly. Their focus is on sustainability, digitalization, grid integration, reliability. Very forward-looking. They remain a key player.
Okay, and rounding out the top 5.
That would be Fimer Group with 3.7% market share. They've carved out a strong position, especially in residential and commercial solar.
Fimer. They made a big move acquiring ABB's inverter business a few years back, didn't they?
That's right, back in 2020. That significantly boosted their portfolio and reach. They offer a good variety string, central, hybrid, often noted for compact designs, but being easy to install.
Installer friendly, that's important.
Very. And good compatibility with energy storage, which is increasingly vital. They also saw expansion in 2023 across Europe, India, parts of Africa.
How are they staying competitive against the bigger players?
Their strategy seems centered on technological flexibility, keeping things easy for installers, ensuring their products are ready for smart grid integration. They're also investing in automated manufacturing and digital service platforms.
So efficiency and service focus.
Yeah. Despite the intense competition, their focus on innovation, support, and strategic partnerships helps them maintain a solid presence in key markets. They show resilience.
Okay, so that's a good overview of the top 5: Huawei, Sungrow, Power Electronics, SMA, and Fimer. Diverse strategies, different strengths.
Exactly.
But you mentioned threats earlier. Even these leaders face challenges, right? What kind of pressures are they under?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest one highlighted is just the sheer intensity of competition. It's heating up.
From who, mainly?
New startups.
Not just startups. The report emphasizes the threat from players just outside that top 5 companies like Delta Electronics, ABB, Team AIC, Schneider Electric, Ginlong, Solis. These are already established, substantial companies.
Right, they're not small fries. They have resources.
Exactly. They often have established distribution networks, broad product lines that can compete directly, and serious R&D budgets. They're actively narrowing the gap.
And the market itself is changing fast, driving this competition.
Precisely. The growing demand for seamless renewable integration, advanced storage, intelligent power management, it's constantly shifting the landscape. And these other established players are jumping on these trends.
How so? What are they doing specifically?
They're launching their own high-efficiency solar inverters, innovative hybrid systems, advanced digital monitoring platforms, basically matching the leaders feature for feature in many cases, and using their existing channels to push into both mature and emerging markets. Can you give some concrete examples of this competition in action?
Sure. The report mentions Ginlong Solis making real inroads in residential and commercial, especially in places like India and Southeast Asia, often with very cost-effective solutions that still perform well.
Price competition.
Yes. Schneider Electric, huge in energy management overall, is facing more heat in the specific area of microgrids and off-grid solutions where maybe more nimble players are emerging.
Okay.
TMEIC, with its industrial background, is seeing more competition from companies focusing on modular designs and better IoT integration for things like predictive maintenance.
Right.
ABB, despite its scale, is challenged by companies using more tailored, region-specific strategies, maybe local manufacturing, to keep costs down while meeting local standards.
So adapting local.
And even Delta Electronics, a leader in power tech, is facing rivals bringing out AI-powered inverters with sophisticated features like dynamic load balancing and better grid synchronization.
So everyone's pushing the tech envelope. It sounds like just being big isn't enough anymore.
That's a key takeaway from the report. Continuous innovation and, crucially, the agility to adapt quickly to market shifts are becoming maybe even more important than just sheer size or legacy status.
A really dynamic, competitive environment then. So if you're a new company looking at this market, thinking maybe you can break in, what does the report suggest? What are the guidelines for actually succeeding, not just surviving?
That's a great question for potential entrants. The report offers some clear pointers. A major one is focus heavily on integrating smart functionalities right from the start.
Don't treat smart as an add-on.
Exactly. Build in remote diagnostics, real-time monitoring, AI for optimization. These are becoming baseline expectations, especially in residential and for decentralized grids.
So intelligence baked in. What else?
Seamless grid tie compatibility is non-negotiable. Plus, advanced energy management features, and crucially, compatibility with battery storage and demand-side management tools. That integration piece is vital.
And quality standards.
Absolutely critical. Adhering strictly to international quality and safety standards like UL, IEC, BIS, that's fundamental for building trust and getting market access. No cutting corners there.
Okay, that covers the product itself. What about strategy? Where to play, how to sell?
Strategic regional expansion is key. New players should look hard at regions with supportive government policies and incentives for renewables. Think Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America. Lots of growth potential there.
Go where the policy tailwinds are.
Right. And building localized supply chains, collaborating closely with local installers, EPC contractors, utilities, that ground game is crucial for gaining traction.
What about pricing? Sounds competitive.
It is. Offering flexible pricing models, maybe even looking at energy-as-a-service type deals, could be attractive, especially for residential or smaller commercial customers in price-sensitive markets.
And long-term success. What builds loyalty?
Robust after-sales service is huge. Responsive support networks. And investing in customer education, helping users understand how to get the most out of their systems, how to maintain them. That builds brand loyalty and good word of mouth.
So it's a blend then.
Yeah, the report concludes it's a mix of innovation, affordability, and really being responsive to market needs and customer feedback. That's the recipe for new entrants to excel.
It really keeps coming back to that innovation angle, especially the smart features, doesn't it?
It does. Those advanced capabilities, wireless connectivity, remote firmware updates so systems stay current, AI diagnostics for proactive maintenance, they're shifting from being nice-to-haves to must-haves.
Table stakes almost.
Pretty much. Inverters that smoothly integrate with the grid and home energy management systems, optimizing consumption, helping grid stability. That's a massive value proposition.
And the demand for hybrid systems, handling both solar and storage, is only growing.
Especially in areas with grid reliability issues, it's a huge opportunity. New entrants need to find that sweet spot, balancing affordability with solid performance for residential, commercial, even rural electrification needs.
User experience matters too, I guess. Apps, dashboards.
Definitely. Intuitive interfaces, user-friendly apps, Modular designs allowing for future upgrades, those things can really enhance appeal. Fundamentally, prioritizing constant innovation in smart inverter design is just crucial for staying relevant in this shift towards decentralized energy.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Pulling it all together, it's crystal clear the global inverter market is, well, booming. It's dynamic, growing fast, driven hard by this global push for cleaner energy. We're seeing really intense competition among the big established players we discussed.
Right, the top five and those nipping at their heels.
But importantly, there are real opportunities for new companies too, provided they come in smart, focusing on innovation, adaptability, really understanding where the market's heading.
That's a perfect summary. Digitalization, that push for ever higher energy efficiency, and smart regional expansion strategies. Those seem to be the keys to long-term success and competitiveness in this really vital market.
Absolutely. And then on that note, maybe a final thought for you, our listeners, to chew on. Considering how fast this tech is moving, all the advancements we've touched on, what kind of applications or integrations for inverters, things we might not even imagine today, could emerge in the next, say, 10 years?
Interesting question.
And thinking bigger, how might those future developments really reshape our entire energy landscape? Something to ponder beyond our deep dive today.
Definitely food for thought.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.